So once I had my ceiling line corners figured out, I just took my triangle and I joined those two lines across the ceiling. Now I need to find where the wing walls stop. So I'm going to go to my floor and I'm going to go right up to the ceiling. Now I'm going to look, I want to go to that outside line because I'm on the outside line on the bottom. So I'm going to take that guide and I'm going to go to the outside line. I'm going to come in here to the inside and I'm going to go to the inside line. As drawings get more complex, I find it helps if I just ask myself these questions. Where am I going? Then I can just attach that wall at the top. See how that's coming together? Let's do the other side. This is my inside, so I'm going to my inside ceiling. This is my outside, I'm going to my outside ceiling line. When I get up there, I can join these. But to make it very simple, I can just bring my triangle up and do that right across. Now, remember always to use a drafting brush, but because I'm working this video at home, I do not have a drafting brush at home or very good drawing implement, so excuse me not having a drafting brush, because you should never touch the paper. It'll smear that lead everywhere. So that's pretty unprofessional. I'm also going to just lighten up these guidelines on the floor so it's easier for you guys to see this. So you can see here's one of our wing walls and here's the other wing wall. This is our shower area. Now, I want to go in and draw, put in my cabinets that are built in along this wall. Now, what you don't see, because I haven't finished putting the windows in, are that there are 4 clear story windows above this cabinet. So let's say that I want to run the cabinet to 6 feet, and then I want to make large clear story windows above that. But I need to get the depth of this cabinet, and these are the doors that open to shelving behind. So I want to draw this cabinet at 6 feet, and it is 1 foot 6 inches deep. So again, I'm going to come over here to this wall, and I'm going to find the 18 inches. I don't have to measure that side. And I first draw that footprint, and I just draw a guideline. But I also know that the cabinet's only going up 6 feet. So on this exterior true measure line, I'm going to mark 6 feet. And I'm going to go across the interior wall on the back. I'm just going to draw a guide on both sides so I don't have to measure. It saves time. I just use my triangle because I've already measured down here the 2 feet. So if I take a line up this way, I'm going to create that corner on the top of the cabinet. So I find the floor of the cabinet corner and I go up to the top corner. See how that comes together really quickly. Now I've already created these two endpoints, and I connect that, and I can just see how that cabinet came together. Now, let me come back here and measure how wide are these cabinet doors, and they're each 2 feet wide. So I can come back here and I can make a tick mark every 2 feet on the front of my cabinet here on the bottom. So that I can draw the face frames. Now I'm just going to go up to the front top of the cabinet. This really is fun when you get comfortable with it. It's like putting together a puzzle. Now I also want to put in, this is blocked in very well, I haven't started to put in detail, but I want to come over here to put in the vanity. And let's just look at this. The vanity goes from the built-in cabinet over to this wing wall, and it's 2 feet deep. So, let's see, how wide is that? And it's 10 feet wide. I need to know how wide it is because I need to find the center point to locate the sink. So if I go to the inside of this wing wall and I measure 2 feet on that floor plan, on the isometric, that will make this cabinet 2 feet wide. I'm going to go back and I'm just going to draw a very light guideline. Because what we're doing right now, it looks like a wireframe, those of you who have had CAD. And so we want to go back in and darken up just what we will actually see so it's more readable for the final drawing. So we have the footprint of our vanity. And how tall should we make the vanity? Just for ease of measurement, let's come to this corner and let's make it 3 foot tall. So if I measure up 3 feet, and to be accurate I want to come that way. Now these are lines that you're really not going to see in the final drawing, but I'm putting them in so that we can be very accurate in the overall drawing. And this is going to go over to the front face of the cabinet. And let's put in the back line. Again, I'm going to the back of the cabinet. So can you see that? That's the top of the vanity, and that's the bottom. So now you can see that I have put in the clear story windows above the cabinet storage. And once I found the thickness of the walls, then I could put a square on the front and then go back to the exterior line, and so I'm just seeing the thickness of the walls through that glass. The next thing I want to put in is the 3-foot by 17 large sink. So I need to find the center point, which I've done. I found the center point and drew a guideline there, and then I went 1.5 and 1.5, so this is 3 foot wide. So I can easily block in that square right now. And I can, I know that my vanity is going to fit in there. Now I know the 36 is my outside edge. I can draw and it's pretty safe to say nothing's going to be in my way, so I'm drawing this with a darkened line. So that's the top part of the sink. I could actually see the corners of the sink by figuring out how deep I want that sink to go. And I would see this corner. And I would draw that really light because as far as line hierarchy, you know that that would be further away, so it would be easier to read. If it were a lighter line. So this is where the three-dimensional quality really comes in when you're really detailing. So if I wanted to put in a faucet, again, I would actually do guidelines and block that in. Even if it were a curvilinear kind of faucet, as long as I have boxes, I can, go back in there and sort of sketch that. And maybe all these little details, the detail of the vanity, if I wanted to raise it up and have it floating, or if I wanted feet on it, the cabinet doors, I could now put on my trace or my bum and play around with sketching and putting it on the vellum on top so that I don't mess up this basic design. So if I mess up on a detail, I can just get rid of that. And then I can layer my details on top of this, put a nice vellum on top, and then just draw in my important lines that I would be seeing in the drawing. So for me to put in this toilet, I would measure, like if this was a toilet, it is a toilet, but if it were a chair